being friends with a lightworker. First of all, they being the lightworker friend, are always happy to see you. At times, it does cause brief impalement when they forget the story you told them less than a month ago with great emphasis. But there is a double standard, as you would never expect them to remember sessions you had as a client, due to simply having an abundance of clients. They channel the source to provide the client with messages. If the message isn't for them, it is for the client, period. Don't expect your lightworker friend to retain the messages received for you. They are always busy, but from the onlooker's perspective, it appears as though they are simply sitting on a couch. No, they didn't like that I just said that out loud, but let me continue. You'd say you were busy too if you had more than one guy talking to you while a human was also trying to get your attention, while also mentally facilitating an entire program to reach more clients. On top of that, engaging in play with kids and pets. Jealous? They can work and sit on a couch at the same time. What is it to vent to a friend? If venting can harbor victim-like mentality, it's recommended you have an upside to your story or a new outlook by the time you finish venting. Of course, your lightworker friend isn't going to hear the entirety of the story, but they will hear you in your current state. You can literally see them filtering the story. The story becomes irrelevant when the self exists. You're not often included in the dialogue. You can hear the thoughts that are egotistical. Yes, we need our ego. Mixed with the higher thoughts from channeling their higher self. Two separate conversations. It is easiest to listen and not interrupt. They won't remember what you said anyway. It may sound like I'm challenging a friendship, but that isn't the case at all. I'm challenging your outlook on your friendship with a lightworker. How many times have you thought of something in your head and it was suddenly presented to you by your lightworker friend? Whether it was an object placed in front of you or an encouragement for an idea you just had. Did you know you're included in a multitude of events and inspirational talks? They energetically know when you're tired, sad, mad, frustrated, lying. Never lie to a lightworker. It's not worth it. They even know when you are hungry. Actually hungry, not binge eating hungry. With that being said, I have had food unexpectedly delivered to me by them for that reason. Selfish? No, to work on thyself is to help the collective. I don't mean getting their nails or hair done. I mean setting boundaries. Sometimes boundaries can come off as selfish, but boundaries are quite simple. They ask, will this serve me? Still sounds selfish, right? It's not selfish at all, because by setting a boundary, they create a shift in the narrative that then creates a domino effect in all clients and whoever else is open to the concept. Set boundaries to enable thyself to serve others. Wow. And here you were getting frustrated with the fact they forgot you asked for certain books for Christmas when you were a child. I know, there's more to that story. Yeah, I believe you. But look at the bigger picture. Those books you asked for and received on Christmas, do you remember how many chapters were in each book, pages? Did you finish all of them, or are they dust collectors now? No, you don't remember. But you remember how they made you feel. And to repeat, you remember how they made you feel. So, you just changed your perspective. Sometimes the fine details aren't required. Most often they aren't, unless there is a piece of paper labeled contract in front of you, or it's Mercury retrograde. Anyway, besides that, you can now acknowledge the feeling you get from certain teas, coffees, books, weather, smells, etc. Your lightworker friend acts on how they feel, or as the term often used, how they vibe. Vibing is feeling. It's energy frequency moving. Hello, you literally pay them to feel your energy. So after your first few sessions and they still keep talking to you, it's about your energy, not about what you did or didn't do. It's not your reactions to things that limit your Lightworker friend pool, it's the energy. The Lightworker friend still keeps hanging around you. Shit, they even text more. So do yourself a favor and stop avoiding them on the schoolyard at kid drop-off. Pat yourself on the back. You carry some great energy, or at least you have the potential to. Let's be honest, having a person in a beautiful meat sack just like yours, except you are taller and have bigger feet, except you as you are, is beyond words. Because words are not it. They are not the end-all be-all. Not words, but feelings. Still not picking up what I'm putting down? Let's try again. Reflect to a time when you were venting to a friend whom did not acknowledge a healer aspect in themselves, as of yet. Fuck, it felt good to throw down with that friend, get upset about something, and totally vent your heart out, the anger, the frustration. You would at one time call this healing. It's the type of healing that gives the instant gratification. Instant gratification ain't it though, let me tell you. There is a process. Now, reflect to a time when you were faced with a life lesson, as challenging as it was. Envision yourself talking to your Lightworker friend about it. You're changing your tune already, aren't you? I mean, you're definitely still using curse words to explain the situation, but your tone is softening. You yourself are actually listening to the words you're spewing. Oh shit, yep. Now you are understanding why the situation came to be. Now you are grasping as to why your reaction took over the situation and how it all ended so negatively. All this to say, you acknowledge an obstacle as a life lesson. They may not remember all of your stories or your lifeline, your favorite food, or your birthday, but their love language is acts of service. To be in service is to be present. By the way, they've already figured out your love language, gifts. You give gifts. You didn't even know that until you loved a Lightworker. Oh, and they don't hold attachment to their past. The stories they bring up are on repeat. Each time they are told they are still funny, whether it is due to the story being in fact funny, or the fact you've heard it 4 times in the past week. They have zero embarrassment in regards to their past experiences, even if it includes a dance song group as a teenager. Rather, they understand even that minuscule time that has made up their life has a bigger role. Sometimes, I will admit, I use my Lightworker friend. Just kidding. I use the concept that they are open-minded and believe and trust in the process enough without any judgment, either negative or positive. With this benefit of being a Lightworker, in addition to a friend, they let me use them like a notepad. Fortunately, they gave me their cell number a while ago. So now, after a meditation or dream well worth remembering, I send jot notes to their phone. They never overanalyze the message. They simply know and ask, is this a dream or a meditation? Often followed with, what do you think it means? This is another form of holding space for someone. Yes, they hold space for a client. It is part of the job. But they hold space at different times as well. They didn't need to reply to my dream meditation bullet notes, but they chose to. They read between the lines. And no, it doesn't lead them to your middle finger. They read the energy, the atmosphere, their surroundings. On that note, due to them reading between the lines, I won't even bother to have someone else proofread this. If you've been with me this far, I suggest booking a session with a Lightworker and possibly making a friend at the same time. However, hold no expectations. So, to my friendly Lightworker, you know who you are. This is my gift to you. I appreciate you.